Hello and welcome to the Pirate King Plays Genshin Impact. I know we haven't finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet, but Genshin has released a crap ton of new content in the form of... as we go across the ocean here, in the form of a new area! Sumeru, in fact. So yeah, there's a lot in here. I have not touched any of it yet because it is main story content, which means I want to start it with you guys. I just really hope my stream can handle this. I did actually consider playing this on the PS5 instead, because I can. But this is one of the games where I can play it on my computer. You can actually see my face. I just don't know how well it's going to be working. As you can see, we're already skipping frames. Dropping frames or whatnot. And I usually play on PC. But stream does weird shit to it. So we'll see how well it works out. I don't really think it's going to work very well, but yeah. A Forest of Change. Go to the land of the Dendro Archon. Alright. Was I building stuff? Oh, nope, I was away all weekend. So, I'll do this later. Don't worry about that. It's saying Mondstadt? Why would it be Mondstadt? Alright, no, it's in Liyue. Specifically there. So we will go, I think the closest is actually here. Yeah, so if this ends up not working very well on PC, I may switch it to PS5, in which case my face will be gone. And that'll take a few minutes, to be sure. But that's only if it doesn't end up working out well here. So yeah, I had an amazing weekend. I went up to Six Flags with a bunch of people. Some of which I already knew, some of which I didn't. And, it was a glorious time. Alright. So how are we getting... There should be a tunnel, I think. Yeah, what I should be doing is going to wherever... Ah, I see. There it is. So I don't remember this entrance from before. Let's go. You have to wonder how people were getting back and forth from Sumeru if this was the way forward and the chasm was closed off for a while. So yeah, I made sure to go and optimize everyone before I started the stream, because I wanted everyone in tip-top shape, even if it was slightly different than before. Oh, and I will say that when they introduce a new place, they always give you a bunch of shit. Oop, not what I wanted. Also not what I wanted. God damn it. And I did another 10 wish, because I could. And who did I get? First pull is one of the new characters! Calais! I still don't really know who she is, because we haven't seen her in the story yet. Is that a boomerang? Huh. But yeah, she's an archer. She's also currently my lowest level person, because since I didn't go in there, I couldn't get the stuff to upgrade or any.
Guess we can rest a bit.
Oh, we already have a Sealy. And I'm probably not going to do much searching for chests on stream, because it's something I want to be checking off on Map Genie. And what the hell are you? Mushroom and raw meat? It's like a shroom pig. continue through the forest. Yes. Oh my goodness, my frames are... Wow, that is bad. Let me try something. I will suspend this tab. I think everything that takes a lot of power is suspended. Oh, that is... How the frack? No, go back there. That was weird. This is what I wanted. Give me a moment, folks. That shouldn't be doing anything right now. No, you're staying active, damn it. Is that it? Oh. Alright, I think that's good. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I can do that too. I just need to do a thing. Do you. This. And... Oh, that doesn't help, does it? No, it does. Okay. And this. I think I have suppressed everything that takes processing power at the moment. So let's hope that helps. Oh! 4-leaf sigil. This crest, which looks like a 4-petaled flower, will sometimes appear in Sumeru. When those who can manipulate the elements are facing one such crest, they can use it to travel swiftly. Sometimes you will find cluster leaves of cultivation that can scatter these 4-leaf sigils around. Use their ability to make your adventures easier. Oh, it's that thing. But we get a cutscene first. Ooh.
Now that we made it to Sumeru, our next objective should be to head to Sumeru City and find a way to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali. And speaking of Lesser Lord Kusanali, even though we haven't heard too much about her, she doesn't seem to be the same deity who abducted your sister. But even so, people call Sumeru the Nation of Wisdom, you know. If we can get a chance to meet the God of Wisdom, maybe she can give us some useful information.
Is this the first time we've heard, I guess, Sumeru pronounced out loud? I've been calling it Sumeru this entire time, but I guess the emphasis is on the E. Alright, sounds like a plan.
But, Paimon doesn't know the way to Sumeru City. Maybe we can climb up to that spot with the statue of the Seven on it. That'll give us a way better view of things.
And give us new powers.
Even if we can't see exactly where the city is, at least we'll be able to check for some smaller settlements nearby.
Oh, hi.
Wait a second. Look! There's someone up ahead!
Don't mind that I'm soaking wet.
Perfect timing! Now we can just ask for directions rather than wander around like lost adventurers. Hey there! We're not from around here and seem to have gotten a little lost. We'd like to ask for some directions.
She just walks on by.
Did they not hear Paimon? Hey! You over there! Could you give us some directions?
Huh?
Jeez.
What's going on here?
What?
There's no way she could have missed that. Wait! Could she be ignoring us? How dare she?
Calm down. It's probably nothing to get worked up about. Or maybe there's a reason she ignored us.
Well, even so, she might be heading someplace where we could find other people to ask. Let's keep our distance and follow her.
So
When
we're
we
not
get
going
the
after the
chance,
statue?
we'll just ask someone else for directions.
Through mists of smoke and forest dark.
Come on, let's follow her.
Ow.
Just keep quiet. Make sure she doesn't notice us.
Yep, and Sealy to this.
A reward on the road.
Okay, Kara's child. We got a Dendro sigil for doing that? Or was that from the chest? Oh, this is cool. The world opened itself before those with noble hearts. Map! There we go. All we need is a map. Now we know our way. We don't need to find someone. And not only that, it's our first one in a new nation, so... Oh, hi there. Oh, there's no... Eh? What were those? Oh, did you see them? I saw them. Little round plant-like things, right? Going just like that. We should ask around when we get a chance. Resonate with Dendro. Ooh, the essence of flora. Okay. First of all, we apparently have something here. Early sigil. Oh no, it was just that again. Dendro! We're green now! Now what the fuck does that mean? We've a new constellation, as expected. Foreign Field Cleaver. Yeah, I mean, it's just the same. What? Teachings of Admonition. Okay, something we don't have yet. Which means I can't upgrade any of my attacks. Yet. Oh, I should still look at what they are, though. Flourish of your blade unleashes spray of razor-sharp leaves that go before you deal Dendro damage. So, pretty much the same as Electro. There's a floor all around. You create a Lunar Lotus lamp. This lamp will deal continuous Dendro damage to opponents within its AoE. Oh, so similar to, what's her name? The librarian. Let's see. Undergo the following changes to come into contact with other elements. So increase, speed is increased. Explode after a short delay when they disappear. Well, that'd be interesting. Okay, sure. Oh, nice. Alright. So, that was us coming up here. That's where we need to be going. Ooh, is this a new flower? Oh yeah, there were new seeds for me to plant in the Serenity pot when I checked. Yeah, Sumeru Rose. So those are planted at the moment. Okay.
Huh? She just walked near that small waterfall and then suddenly vanished.
But no, there she goes.
Let's go take a closer look. Paimon thought this cave would lead to a village or something.
It's not voiced for some reason.
It looks like that's not the
Paimon
case.
thought this cave would lead to a village or something, but it looks like that's not the case.
Look, she's
sitting over there.
Wait,
could she possibly
she
be
couldn't
living here?
possibly be living. What should we do
now? Do we try asking for
asking
directions
her
again?
for directions again?
Sure, let's give it another
All
shot.
right then. It's not
Alright
like
then,
we have
it's not like
anyone else we can ask. Even if she's not very friendly,
we just need
her to point us in the right direction.
That's all. Why isn't this voiced? What a lovely
It's coming
smell.
from that sensor
It's
over
coming from
there.
that sensor over there.
This is definitely not,
This is definitely not your typical place to call home, but at least it smells nice. Maybe living here wouldn't be so bad after all. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Huh? What's
the matter? You don't look too good.
You don't look too
The
good.
smell, something's not right.
What? Is the smell making you feel sick?
Does the smell making you feel sick?
Strange.
Strange?
Paimon
Paimon doesn't
doesn't
feel
feel-
anything. Gotta get out of here. Think I'm gonna pass out.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Arlong?
Arlong, this is no time for a nap. Come on, wake up. Alrighty. Oh, shit, what? What do you mean, Oh, I'm not... My fucking speakers aren't working. Give me a moment. That's what's... I'm not teleporting. Whatever. Do it this way. It is my fault. I thought it wasn't being voiced, and you guys are hearing stuff, but I'm not.
Oh, it's in my imagination. It becomes my life.
Come on, pause the damn video.
Beautiful.
So they don't have to hear this.
Discovery of predictive systems.
Pause the
by
video!
State.
I have clicked already. God damn it. Pay attention. Yeah, there's my fucking sound. I can hear things now. That's my fault. Sorry. Oh, I'm not even allowed to dash or jump? What is this? Whoa! I didn't even have to unsuppress it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it! Okay, that was cool. But what voice am I following? I'm not actually hearing it, even though I do have sound back. Okay. You're not giving us much to go on here. We're about to wake up, aren't we?
Are you sure it's not serious? The Traveler's been out for a long time now.
Yep, it was voiced.
Yes, you can relax. Believe me, Master is extremely knowledgeable. If he says that he's going to be alright, then
Calais!
there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, are you awake now? Oh, thank goodness! Traveler, you're finally awake!
Where am I?
Well, we're at... Good question. Where are we? Haima was in such a panic when you passed out that she even forgot to ask what place this is. This is Gandharvaville. It was originally built by scholars from Sumeru as a place to rest in the rainforest. Now it's mainly used by the forest rangers as a base of operations. My name is Kale. I'm a trainee forest ranger. My master and I found you passed out during our patrol, so we brought you here.
Apparently I keep messing up pronunciations because I pronounce them how they look like they should be pronounced, and then they do this, like, Kale! No, wouldn't it be Kole? And Sumeru, not Sumeru? That one is kind of... I'll accept that one. Thanks for your help.
Oh, no thanks are necessary. I didn't do anything, really. By the way, how are you feeling now? Any discomfort?
No, it seems to be fine, except this taste in my mouth. It's so bitter.
Oh, that's Master's herbal medicine you're tasting. He gave you some while you were unconscious. Before I forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up.
And your master is...
Whoops!
Kale, what's the matter? Were you
It is
trying to
Tignari,
retrieve
right?
the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be careful with these. All right, I'll get it for you once I'm finished here.
What?
Sorry, Master.
All she did was pick it up and drop it.
Now,
What happened now?
the guide to Avidya Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board. But if Farbode forgets which mushrooms to avoid one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide somewhere a little more visible. Like right smack on his forehead so others can remind him to be careful.
Right? This is the second time he's come down with food poisoning this month. I'll be sure to give him a good talking to.
Yes, please do. If, on the off chance, Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him be. But the next time he requires any of our medicine, be sure to charge him accordingly. So, how are you doing? Feeling better?
Oh, this is my master, Forest Watcher Tainari. He's chief
Tainari.
officer over
Okay,
all
I'll
the
take it.
rangers here in Gandharvaville.
I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier. But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you as well. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training and meditation in isolated areas, particularly the nearby forests. While meditating, they use a certain incense known as spirit borneol to help calm their minds as they enter a state of deep rumination. In hopes of asking directions, you two followed a scholar named Hypatia into her cave. The incense you smelled inside was the spirit borneol I just mentioned. That incense typically has no effect on most people, but for a very select few, it can have profound effects on one's cognition, as you experienced firsthand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that all makes sense.
Very good. Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after passing out? Say, any out-of-body experiences? Or did you see anything while unconscious?
Yes. Describe what you saw while unconscious. It's like, yeah, this doesn't happen to most people, so I
let
gotta
the
get
others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Huh?
get a lot of information.
Why?
Because these two will be staying here for the next few days. They can have my room and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tainari. Wait, hold on a second. Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure, let me fill you in. I originally planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, it appears now that you should stay a while longer in Gandharvaville for further observation while you recuperate.
Further observation?
But we need to head to Sumeru City.
No need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation once I explain everything to you.
So
Based
continue.
on what you saw after smelling the incense and losing consciousness, we can conclude that you experienced a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape.
What?
If you're skeptical, have a whiff of this.
What?
Oh, are you okay?
You're experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you? So even though your condition is stable as of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else.
Oh.
The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky. For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own. At least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell, okay?
All right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Good. Now continue resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you.
What is the medicine, though? Tainari.
Seriously? We just arrived in Sumeru and we're already having problems left and right. Paimon knows we're set on meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali as soon as possible, but you really don't look too good. It'd probably be best to let you recover first. Hey! Are you even listening to Paimon? Paimon's over here worrying about you, you know.
I feel it's a little weird.
What's weird? You mean how you're feeling now?
Yeah, my body does feel a little weird. That's not. But what I mean is, I don't think what I saw were hallucinations.
You mean the vision of tree roots and red skies you saw? But if those weren't hallucinations, what could they be?
I'm not sure. When I saw the vision, it felt as I was standing deep underground with the sky. Could it have been Conria?
Well, considering how unique you are, Paimon trusts your judgment here. But why didn't you say anything about it to Tainari? If he misjudged your condition, then there's a chance you could get worse, right?
I don't think that's the case. he probably wasn't telling us the truth.
Huh? You mean that Tainari already knows that what you saw weren't hallucinations? But if that's the case, why would he try to hide that from us?
Exactly. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. That explains why you were so quiet earlier. Well, that settles it then. We'll stay here to rest up and figure out what's going on with your hallucinations. But it seems like asking Tainari might not be an option anymore. What do you think we should do?
Let's start by having a chat with Calais.
Good idea. Kale's pretty friendly. We can ask her tomorrow about what she knows regarding the Dendro Archon and customs in Sumeru.
Something tells me she doesn't know much about anything but forest ranger stuff.
Rise and shine! Come on, it's time to go find Kale!
Okay. Can I examine anything in here? No? Well. Hello. If it wasn't for the forest alleviating effects on the disease, someone with Eliezer would have never been allowed to be a forest ranger. Eliezer? Huh? Who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you asking about that? Just passing by. Right. This is Gandharvaville. You can rest here if you're tired. If you don't want to be educated by the forest watchers, then take a look at the stuff on the notice board. Forgive me for being unable to say more. Okay. Oh, we're not far off from where we were, huh? Yeah, we only moved this far. Talk to him in a sec, but there's a viewpoint here. City above the forest. What the hell is this? Taking the path through the chasm to Sumeru was a bad idea. Thought it was a shortcut, but nobody like me couldn't get through the blockades, and I have it on autoplay. Really exhausted me. Yeah. Never mind me. Too late now. It's my fault for heading to Liyue after leaving Mondstadt and going straight to Sumeru. I wasn't able to plan my route properly. I should have gone to Fontaine first. Where is Fontaine then? Is it up to the north? That would make, I guess, a bit more sense. Luckily, I finally arrived at civilization, so let me rest here for a while. Wise choice. Thanks for the approval. Gives me confidence in my own decision. It does look pretty safe with so many forest rangers here. Young girl with green hair tried to say something to me while she heard I was a Mondstadter, but she didn't say anything in the end. What's up with that? I was too tired to bother asking for directions, or for details. I'll ask about it should I meet her again. Alright, you had a second option. And if that leads to you giving us stuff, we'll see. Of course. Meanwhile, rest up. Already here, I have to pay a visit to Sumeru City. Locals told me I should attend the festivals they held there if I can. Everywhere has festivals now. For example, there's something called the Sabzura's Festival, which celebrates the birthday of Lesser Lord Kusanali. When I asked if Lesser Lord Kusanali is also called the Goddess of Flowers, they shook their heads, said the Goddess of Flowers and the Dendro Archon aren't the same god. It seems that the Greater Lord and Lesser Lord Kusanali aren't the same god either. Yeah, why would one be greater and one be lesser and be the same thing? That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. And why is Lesser Lord Kusanali's birthday called the Sabera's Festival? Just being obtuse. That you're not explaining what that nonsense word means. Oh, I see. That's a way across that way. Actually, it is. There's a little building here. Take a little look. Nope. Not that one.
It's my first time hearing your footsteps. Sorry, but I'm blind, so I can't be of any help to you. Still, my hearing's very good.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Travelers, merchants, and adventurers frequent Gandharvaville. but your footsteps are more agile than theirs. You must be a lively, livable youngster. That's a good thing. Very rare to come by in Samaria right now. Young traveler, may the greater Lord watch over you.
Has something happened?
Not at all. It's peaceful as always. It's just me, a blind old man, worrying about nothing. The use of Akasha has been growing in popularity, while fewer dusk birds are flying out of Samara City. I can only hope this is a sign of progress.
Definitely have enough for a grand feast.
Of course, he had a second option, so I have to try that one too. About the Greater Lord.
The Greater Lord may be gone, but the people of Samara will never forget the blessings she bestowed upon us. Youngster, I'm sure you know that every blade of grass and leaf in this land is a blessing from the Greater Lord. Human life is too short. Will I be alive to see the Dendro Archon bring Samara back to its former glory?
Some catch? Great. Definitely have
I think
enough
I'm
for a grand feast
worried
this
too.
time.
Master Chef! Even an idiot can cook awesome food with this fresh meat. Oh, you sell things. New dishes. Stuff, and oh, I don't have any of these yet. Let's get that. We got some new recipes, which I haven't done anything with yet. Ooh, spice. I'm not gonna buy these though. We'll talk to you in a second, but no, we'll talk to you first. You can cut?
What kind of question is that? Don't look down on my culinary expertise just because I'm wearing a Forest Watcher's uniform. I'm the renowned Master Chef of the Forest Rangers. Yeah, alright, that's enough jokes for now. Still, even if I'm not truly renowned, my culinary skill is pretty extraordinary. Everyone praises it once they try it.
I don't believe it.
You got a problem with me, pal? You don't look anything like an unreasonable loaf. Oh, I get it. You're using reverse psychology to get a free meal out of me. That's okay, I don't mind falling for tricks when it comes to sharing food. I have only one request. Just spread the good word about my food if you like it.
I got a shawarma wrap. Alright, so we got these 3 new ones. Sunset Berry Tea, Milky Mushroom Crisp Tower, and Meat Lover's Mushroom Pizza. So let's see. Oh, I can certainly get all 20 of these. Maybe. Yeah, no, I should have enough. That would probably take a bit, though. I'll do it anyway. Whenever I get a new meal, I have to max it out so I don't have to do this minigame again. I think there's only 2 meals I have, maybe only 1, other than the new ones I just got, which I haven't maxed proficiency on already. Because unagi is rather difficult to come by. I'm close, though. I just need to actually go out and get some. Actually, I haven't checked in a bit. I might have got enough for at least another one. We'll see. And I feel like I haven't done any cooking in a while, because I barely ever use food anymore. When you have characters who can heal everyone else, why bother with the food? Unless, like, you need a stat boost. And yes, I still have not ascended my world rank again. I have no intention of doing so, unless I'm given a very good reason for it. The only reason that I can have is that I can level up characters and weapons to the last stage. But they're pretty good with a max of 80 at the moment. And that would make everything else way too powerful for me. Oh, here are the other 2 new ones. I don't think we'll be able to max that out, but we should be able to get this. Before I do that, what was the unagi thing? Was it you? Yeah, you have. I need 4 more and I can make 1. I will make the 1. Oh, my sound went out again.
Since the world.
Okay. And the tea. Another attack dish. Oh, why does it have to be all the way at the end? Why does tea always take so long to make? Yeah, starting off Sumeru with some nice Sumerian dishes. Though I guess the pizza isn't really a Sumerian dish. Kinda surprised that was one of the things they gave me. Only two more.
Definitely have enough for a grand feast this time.
Nope, only need to go forward.
All right, next let's see your right hand. Yes, not bad. But please remember that you still need to be careful. Understand?
Yes, I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Look, Kale, today's patrol will be a long one, so you won't be coming along this time. Besides, there's a chance we may encounter... well, you understand.
But I have a vision too! Am I useless to everyone now?
Don't talk like that, Kale. This is not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
Is there something we can help with?
Yeah! Since we'll be staying here for now, we thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the day. And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the Statue of the Seven.
I mean,
Tenari, we're ready to head out.
Roger, I'll be right there. All right, we'll be heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me. So, Kale, what exactly are we going to be doing today? Kainari mentioned cleaning the statue just now, but, that doesn't really sound like the job for a ranger. Well, a forest ranger's responsibilities can be pretty diverse. They handle a variety of tasks, like checking the condition of outlying roads, maintaining forest facilities, ensuring fire prevention standards are met, and providing assistance to travelers and locals. As for Master, well, he has to handle more dangerous areas of the rainforest. Today we can perform routine checks on the pathway lamps as we make our way to the Statue of the Seven. Paimon, traveler, this way! You can leave the task of checking the lamps to me. In the meantime, you two can keep an eye out for anything unusual.
Alright, give me a moment. Can I go in this building? No? Alright. Hello, are you of Anara? Can I ask you a few questions? Who are you? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm in a... Oh, they put a translation up there. Okay. Biology. I'm an immortal researcher in the academia, and I'm carrying out an academic study on the rainforest. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I haven't been able to hire a suitable bodyguard due to financial difficulties, so I've been temporarily limited to small-scale surveys in areas protected by the forest rangers. I'm not of Anara. Oh, what a shame. Still, the opinion of others can be used as reference as well, right? That said, I wonder how much you'd know about Avita Forest. A trace of Greater Lord Rukadavada left in the rainforest. How many of them have you seen? Oh, forgive me for taking so much of your time. If you don't mind, you can have a chat with me when you're free. Sure. Rukadavada. Interesting. Hold up. Dendroculus! Yeah, we went too far. I doubt it's only one for the first thing, so we'll go back. We'll follow the path.
Nothing wrong with these two lamps. Let's move to the next ones.
Oh yeah, I wonder. Hold on. Do I have anything? Any wings to go with green? I mean, the Animo stuff would work, I guess. There is Dendro wings, eventually. Reputation level. Yep, same reason. I had finally gotten to full reputation in Inazuma, so I got the electric stuff, but now that we're not electric, I need to switch it up. I guess this will work. Since it is mostly green, it's kind of a blue. Or we can just go back to these. Yeah, I'd rather have closer to our color.
Oh, this lamp seems to be getting a little wobbly. Let me make a note of it. No problems with this lamp. Good.
Oh, is that a new thing?
The statue of the Seven is up on top of that large rock formation. You must have seen it when you came down this road before.
Yeah, we went up to it.
It's pretty high up there, isn't it? Don't worry. If you're afraid you can't make it up there, I'm sure Master wouldn't mind if you don't clean the statue.
No need to worry, I'm a terrific climber.
Oh? I guess I'll leave it up to you then. There's not much footing once you reach the statue, so be careful up there. Paimon will fly up with you and help you with those hard-to-reach areas. By the way, Kale, do you know anything about the Dendro Archon? You know, what's she like? That depends. Are you referring to Greater Lord Rukadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali? Huh? Greater Lord Rukadevata? Oh, is that the name of the former Dendro Archon? Uh-huh. Greater Lord Rukadevata was Sumeru's first Dendro Archon. She created the rainforest as well as the wall of Samiel around the desert. Her works provided a means of peaceful living for everyone. To the people of Sumeru, she's not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness. Unfortunately, she disappeared in a great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago.
Sounds exactly like what happened with Raida Makoto. Does it coincide with Conrad?
According to what Master has told me, the sages later found the newly born Dendro Archon and whisked her back to Sumeru. To celebrate the reinstatement of their lost deity, the sages dubbed her Lesser Lord Kusanali and let her reside in the sanctuary of Sarastana. Uh-huh. Then what happened? Well, and then... I'm not too sure what happened, to be honest. Huh? You're not too sure? But aren't you from Sumeru? Yeah, I'm from Sumeru. But... maybe it's difficult to discuss this topic with strangers. No, it's not that. I'm not trying to hide something from you. Besides, I don't consider you two strangers. Anyway, you two know Amber, right? Wait, Amber? You mean...
Yeah, Amber, Outrider of the Knights of Favonius, who was the first main NPC we met and got in our party, and I haven't used her since I got a much better archer.
Yes, that's her. I once lived in Mondstadt for a while, and she helped me a lot during that time. You could even say that she helped me become a new person. There's no one like Amber. She lives life to the fullest while always adhering to her strong sense of justice. She's ready to answer the call for action at any moment, but is also very understanding of others. She's like this. If you ask me, she's a prime example of a true outrider. She's the first person anyone coming... sorry.
Wow, never seen this side of you, Calais.
Paimon thought the work of outriders was a little different from what you just described, but one thing's for sure. You really like Amber. Sorry. I was rambling on just now. It must have sounded kind of weird.
Yep.
It's alright, Kale. Knowing that you're so... How do you know that we've met Amber?
Letters.
Well, after I returned to Sumeru, Amber and I have stayed in touch by writing each other letters.
Because that always happens.
In one letter, she mentioned that Mondstadt was attacked by a fearsome dragon, but the city was saved by a mysterious blonde traveler and their floating companion. I knew you two were the ones she mentioned in the letter the moment I saw you. But, considering everything you've been through that day, I thought it'd be inappropriate to bring it up. Ah, so that's how you knew. Yep, so please know that you two have my complete... I wish I could tell you more about the Dendroarchon, but I have been away from Sumeru for some time, and I haven't read any books. Sorry. That's alright. You've already helped us a lot. We had never even heard of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or the Sanctuary of Surasthana until you mentioned them. Oh, I'm happy that was helpful. There is one thing I want to ask, though. Why do you two want to know about the Dendroarchon?
You explain the purpose of your journey to Calais.
So that's why you're here. Thank you for telling me your story. Don't mention it. We are friends after all, right?
Paimon's right, we're friends.
You both have my thanks. While you two are up there cleaning, I'll go ahead and inspect the forest canopy. Let's meet back here shortly.
Inspect the canopy? You mean just... you're gonna be looking at the tops of the trees?
I'm not a very good climber, so I'll just let you handle the statue.
I mean, you would
I'll
be
go
if
check
we
the
controlled
facilities
you.
up ahead. By the way, once we're done with our work here, would you like to chat some more?
Horror fruit. Who needs to climb when you give us ways to just jump up? Were we supposed to do this first?
Now that Paimon looks at it, the deity that's carved on the statue is kinda small. Do you think she's supposed to be Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Maybe Lesser Lord Kusanali?
The name does seem to fit the statue somehow. Well, anyway, we'll have to figure that out later. Let's get started on cleaning the statue. Paimon will fly up and take care of the top, and you clean everything below.
You meticulously clean the statue.
Nice work. That's one clean statue. Let's head down and meet up with Kale.
Sorry, I was distracted. In a good way. Oh, over here.
Kale, we're back! Welcome back! You must be tired after all that climbing.
Nope.
Let's take a little break. Yay, food! What kind of goodies did you bring?
Paimon, some restraint, please.
Hey, don't be a party pooper. It's not like Kale is a stranger or anything. Besides, the best way to compliment a chef is to show passion for their food. Xiangling taught Paimon that. I prepared a nice portable dish that forest rangers like to eat called Pita Pockets. I hope you'll like them. Whoops! No, you dropped it on... Not to worry. I wrapped a few layers of oiled paper around each pita. They should be fine.
Don't mind me just skipping
Those
some annoying
pitas are
dialogue.
amazing! You're quite the cook, Kale. Thank goodness you wrapped them in paper. Paimon wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing something so tasty had been wasted.
Stop going on about it and actually tell us why she keeps dropping things.
You really know how to compliment the chef, Paimon. Since you liked it so much, I'll be sure to give you a copy of the recipe sometime. I'll even include all my personal cooking pointers, so you'll be making your own Pita Pockets in no time. Yay! Thanks, Kale! It's hard to believe someone as diligent as you could have clumsy moments too. Oh, I guess it happens from time to time.
Nope, nope. Explain. Explain!
Don't you think that Tighnari's a little too strict with you? He won't let you touch anything without his permission. Paimon knocks stuff over all the time flying around the Traveler, but he's never said anything. Everyone has their clumsy moments. No, you've got the wrong idea about Master. Sure, he may seem a bit harsh at first, but with some time, you'll see that he's actually very kind-hearted. I've heard the veteran rangers say that Master is from some ancient and mysterious race that is known for their cunning wit and reclusive nature.
Yeah, he's a fox guy.
By the way, you've heard of the Academia, right? Well, there's a group called,
Is that the word we read before, probably?
Well, anyway, because Master does a lot of research on plants, sages from the Academia have written him many times, inviting him to take up an official position there. But Master declines their offers every time, saying, Sumeru City is too noisy. It'd be bad for my ears.
It does sound like something Tighnari would say. I would like to ask about his ears, but I don't want to say that I want to pet them.
Seems you already know him well. Anyway, I'm sure the sages were not happy about his responses. Master could obviously have a bright future in the Academia, but he insists on sticking to the path of a forest watcher. Every day he helps the locals of the forest and passes on his extensive knowledge to trainees like me. In fact, Master's the one who taught me how to make Pita Pocket. Really? Paimon would have never guessed that. Oh, speaking of Tighnari, he was the one who took care of you after finding you passed out yesterday. He even carried you all the way here. Paimon's still kinda upset, though. He kept scolding Paimon the entire way here.
What did you do?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Master might have been overreacting a little. But, it's mostly because Paimon wouldn't stop yelling, Why, oh why, is he going to die? It probably started to get under Master's skin after a while.
He didn't even go very far.
Don't laugh! Paimon was genuinely concerned about you. Hey! Now even Kali started to laugh. Ugh, that's it! Paimon won't forget this! It's time for some Paimonial wrath!
Paimonial?
No! Don't touch me!
Ooh. Oh, geez. Okay. Clay, what's the matter?
Sorry, Kale. Paimon didn't mean to scare you. No, I just... I didn't mean
I'm
that.
sensing some past trauma here.
Are you okay? What's the matter? No, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I must have startled you both reacting like that. Oh, well, it's getting late now.
You're going to have to explain, Calais.
I think Master and the others should be back. Huh? What was up with Kali just now? And why is she in such a hurry all of a sudden? Look, she's practically running back.
Stage for future.
Paimon can't even see her now.
Oh, you can sit here. Cool. Still mint. Oh, hello. You weren't here before. Been so long since I took in some fresh and clean air. Hello? Hello. The environment here is pretty great, right? Many may say that the air here is too humid, but it's perfect for me. I understand that traveling through the desert is torture. If it wasn't for business, why would anyone want to land afoot in that arc-on forsaken place? About the desert. I'm sure you can imagine it without my help. An endless expanse of sand, a scorching sun, wind mixed with dirt. Not to mention the dangers that the sandstorms pose, and the ruins filled with strange mechanisms. According to some legends, there used to be no desert in Sumeru. It was the battle between the Scarlet King and the Greater Lord that created the desert. But I don't really care for how the desert was formed. I'm more interested in when it'll go away. That's when the traveling merchants will be able to do business more safely, after all. A big dream. I haven't been able to dream ever since I grew up. But still, one should dream big. Good luck will follow you only if you dream big. Maybe one day the Scarlet King and Greater Lord Ricardavada will come back again. Either will do. Upon their return, there'll be no desert, no pain, no Samuel control engineers, no by Marston doctors. Just saying that cracks me up. Oh, I got a clover. Nice. Hi.
Ah, Traveler. You've returned.
Yep, we're back. Have you seen Kale by any chance?
Oh, Kale? Yes. I saw her go into her room just a moment ago.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll just have to wait and talk to her tomorrow then.
Wait until 8 the following day. Oh, and it's raining. Great. I'm just gonna take a look around the village here. Oh. Dude, need something? Tell. Hello? Sorry, was my voice too soft for you to hear clearly? I said you need something, please do tell. I disturb you. It's not your fault, it's just an old habit of mine that's acting up. I used to speaking softly because I hunt frequently and sometimes meet researchers training in the forest. It's taking me some time to speak normally again. Many mistake me for an introvert because of that, and they are really careful when they talk to me. It isn't necessary at all. Please talk to me normally. Oh, while there are many of them, they are usually in hidden spots. You'll still meet them if you stay in a Vidya forest all the time. Honestly, I'm not really sure about the specifics of the principle. I only know that this situation is called something like Savada life. It's a special stage in the training of researchers, during which they can't be disturbed. So I sometimes worry that the inexperienced trainee forest ranger will disturb those academia researchers. Still, since she's with the Forest Watchers, I doubt she'll be as reckless as someone who never read the Rainforest Survival Guide in their lives. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff around that, like chests and trials and whatnot, that I probably could be doing. I don't really want to do much of them on stream because I want to be able to check them off on the map. I think I already mentioned that, but I just saw one down below. Her name is Greetings! Welcome to Gandavaville. Life is comfortable here. It's much better than the city. I'm the longest living resident here, one of them anyway. Perhaps only Keon, who's a few years my elder, can compete with me. It was a blessing in disguise, his carefree life in the forest. I was a researcher of the academia in my youth, but I was caught up in vicious academic competition. I don't want to fight with those unethical researchers. A secluded life in the forest was way better. It was here where I realized that knowledge, power, and wealth are the source of our troubles, and that a simple life is the best life. These youngsters from the academia should learn the Forest Rangers' way of life. Forest Rangers are civil servants, too. I can't just group them up together because they're all civil servants. Let me explain. It's like how the Dendro Archon and the Greater Lord are incomparable to each other. You get that now. Instead of asking me more questions, if I just stay a few days, I'm certain you'll get to know the simplicity and beauty of the forest life. Jeez, okay. Yeah, I like the city. What's so great about the city? Its atmosphere always feels weird to me. No matter how tall the buildings that are built leaning against the divine tree are, we seem to draw no closer to the gods. Otherwise, why would researchers who so desperately yearn for knowledge come to a Vidya forest to gain success? Not that I'm saying that knowledge is He's like, good, but you should understand what I mean, right? Yeah, no. How about you just don't try and keep people from doing what they want to do? Don't push your lifestyle on others. Alright, we talked to you already. Aramite Mercenary. That's a sword. Oh man! It's a character with darker skin, surprisingly enough.
Can't these forest rangers be a little clearer? Spores? Pollen? How do they expect anyone to understand it?
Oh, so you've never seen the inside of a classroom in your life, then? Gotcha. Who are you?
I'm from the Aramites. What else?
By the way, do you need a bodyguard? No, I'm really strong.
Oh, talk about a braggart. Well, here's hoping you're strong enough to survive the rainforest. Otherwise, you'll end up like that researcher over there who can't afford to hire anyone and just wanders around crowded places. I heard that many researchers frequent the rainforest to study it, so there are more opportunities to make more here. Why can't I find anyone who'll hire me? I really envy Flame Mane. Said that she's got a huge job in the city. I'll make her buy me some drinks when I get back to the city. I'm assuming that's a main character we'll meet. Puppies! One has a name. It's Sag. And here's a mirror, but first... Zayton Peach. That's new. Dendrograna. Oh. These strange spirits that accompany the appearance of auspicious branches are Dendrograna that symbolize the protection of Dendro. When charged attacks and aimed shots hit, Dendrograna will attack alongside them. There are also some objects that will appear throughout your adventures that can only be activated or destroyed with the power of Dendrograna. I see. Like that. And that unlocked the chest.
Is this an answer from this world?
Also, did Paimon say something about Hilichurls? We don't... Like, I didn't see anything, and we also don't need to be going onward right now. We should be continuing with the story. So I'm going to go back to our little abode. And, while over there, we'll wait. We'll do the waiting. Oh, should grab these first. Drift freely in the forest. Because we used the thing. Oh, Mortal Travails is new for this area. The Essence of Flora, Power of Dendro. And then books? Yeah, seems so. I don't know if it'll count or if I have to go around another full day again. We'll see. Yep.
Paimon was thinking all night about what happened with Kale, and still can't figure out what the problem might be.
That was an
Maybe
obvious
she's in a
trauma
better mood
response.
now. But let's go check on her.
Ah, it's you two. I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tainari? What are you doing here? Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
You mean she's sick? How could she be... Oh...
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale has been dealing with for some time. Kale has been more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
So, Tainari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Please explain.
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale just fell asleep after taking her medicine. She needs some peace and quiet.
Okay. This way.
All right, let's continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized that you're that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma. So, just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats. Instead, I am going to tell you because... well, because Kale asked me to. And honestly speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you. But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity and as a friend. So now she wishes to reciprocate the gesture.
So, Tainari, what exactly is wrong with Kale? You said this is something she's been dealing with for some time. Just how serious is it?
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a disease called Elazar.
Elazar?
Yes,
it's
a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body.
Oh.
At first, the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on the affected area of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia. In its final stages, the disease strips a person of the ability to control their own body, and they effectively become completely immobile.
Oh,
That
jeez.
sounds terrifying.
They'll lose all control over their body?
Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a little clumsy earlier, it was because...
Correct. That would be the effects of Elazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything, lest she ends up hurting herself.
So is there any cure for Elazar?
With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However, there is unfortunately still no true cure for Elazar. Nevertheless, Kale's mother still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization known as the Fatui after one of their members lied and said they had a cure.
What? The Fatui?
Ah, it appears you are already familiar with them. That'll save me some explanation. Anyway, the person who eventually rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a harbinger known as the Doctor. I have no idea how this Doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them.
Oh,
However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left
And
deep
there's the
scars. Even now, she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted both of you to know that she's sorry for hiding her illness.
She doesn't need to apologize. None of this is her fault at all.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain again.
Don't worry, Tainari. We'll take good care of her.
How's her condition now?
Well, it's not too serious at this point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led to her breakdown this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though, I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the forest rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning, so I felt compelled to ask her to join us. Her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate amount of physical exercise is always necessary, I'm afraid the long-distance patrols are a little too much for her now. All right, now that I've told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine. I'll see you two later.
Wait, can we come along?
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
All right, but I must warn you two. The rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering like the Traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
No problemo!
Let's go then. We'll be looking for a plant known as Lunar Lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Interesting.
Hey, Tainari? Where exactly are we going to find this plant?
Lunar Lotus can be found all over the rainforest, but it often grows right here around Gandharvaville.
Given the name, it sounds like we should be looking for it in the water.
You are correct. Lunar Lotus grows in the water. When fully matured, they look like giant blue flowers floating on the water's surface. Quite an attractive species, if you ask me. The large petals are actually the plant's leaves and sepals, which surround a very small flower. You should note that many of the plants found in Sumeru have names that are contrary to their species. Take the Kalpalata, for example. The plant is not a lotus at all, but rather a vine. And then there's the Sumeru rose, which is not a rose, completely contrary to its name.
Oh, okay then. Note to Paimon, never bring up the topic of flowers with Tainari.
These guys are new. Well, sort of new. We found some fungal enemies in when we were underground in the castle, but not many. They only appeared in like one spot.
There should be lunar lotuses growing somewhere in this area.
Nighttime now.
Let's split up and begin searching. If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient. We'll rendezvous here once you've gathered the needed amount.
I feel like that part wasn't necessary to be a real cutscene.
Alright, we've gathered enough lunar lotuses. Let's head back to meet Tainari. Hey Tainari, we found the lotuses you requested.
Future discovery.
Sorry about that. Speakers went out again.
Let me take a look. Good, very good. These are all excellent quality. I'm quite glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time here. It seems we even have enough time to stock up on some other things I need.
Hey, Tainari!
Amir.
Oh, Tainari, someone's calling in.
Ah yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they doing back so early?
Go ask.
Let's go find out what's going on.
I thought you were just going to take me there for a second. Oh, the other ones were fresh for the... Oh, okay.
Tainari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandharvaville.
What's going on?
We just discovered a Withering Zone.
The Withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already clear just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry, I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be spreading, so we didn't risk getting any closer.
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away. In the meantime, please guide these two back to Gandharvaville.
Wait, Kainari, why don't you let us help you?
You two have only just arrived in Sumeru. You're still unfamiliar with many things in these lands. There's a unique type of anomaly that occurs in the Sumeru rainforest. It's called the Withering. The affected areas not only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before approaching such places.
Yes, Amir is absolutely right. I wasn't kidding when I said the rainforest is a dangerous place. As Amir said, only someone with a vision, that is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the Withering's corrosive effects for a time.
That's right. If any of the forest rangers without a vision come across a Withering Zone, we first make a record of the location,
and then you guys think I don't have a vision, and
deal
I
with
don't,
it, like
but I have the power.
Only someone with a vision can venture within a Withering Zone and find a way to deal with it.
I can also control the elements.
But you don't seem to carry a vision.
Yep.
Don't worry, he may not have a vision, but he's a real pro at using the power of the elements.
We just got a new one, too. I want to try it out.
Seems the rumors about you are true. In that case, all right, you two may accompany me. We typically only teach visitors how to identify the Withering as they're about to leave Gandharvaville. We'll make an exception today and show you what it looks like up close.
Okay. Bouncy Mushrooms. This species of bouncy mushroom is a type of trilexionid creature. Under normal circumstances, you can jump on it and be bounced up to higher heights. Its elasticity will be further increased if you've activated it using Electro. Wait, using Electro? Am I supposed to still have Electro at this point? Should I not have grabbed Dendro already? Oh. Also, I didn't even see one of those. Why did it pop up?
Stop. Don't move any further. Look there in the distance.
Huh? Where? Oh, look! Those plants have withered! That whole area is kinda gloomy. Even the air looks like it's filled with ash. Oh, Paimon doesn't like the look of this.
That is the Withering. All right, Traveler. We're going to have to enter that Withering Zone. Once inside, we'll need to look for what we call tumors of the Withering. If we eliminate those, then the area will be saved.
Gotcha. Let's do this.
Thank you. But I must warn you, don't push yourself. This is your first time handling this sort of thing, after all.
We'll be fine.
Even with elemental powers, once you step inside the Withering Zone, you may experience extreme discomfort. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. It could become a matter of life and death. You ready then? Let's go. First, we must locate any branches sustaining the Withering Zone.
Dreadful Withering. The Withering is not a fixed location. Instead, it refers to the areas that become corroded by some sort of mysterious and ominous power. In these areas, characters will accumulate decay. The speed of this accumulation will differ depending on the Withering Zone you're in. Depending on how much decay you've accumulated, all your party members will have their elemental resistance, physical resistance, and max HP decreased. These stats will decrease more in accordance with the amount of decay accrued. If you remain in the Withering Zone after you fully accumulated decay, all of your party members will fall. You must use the power of Dendrograna to clear the Withering away. Only via this method can you destroy the Withering branches that spread and this corrosive power. Only when all the withering branches within a withering zone are destroyed can the tumor of the withering at the beating heart of the area be destroyed. Most withering zones can be destroyed this way, but within the withering zones, candles of life and flames of life may appear and help decrease the accumulation. Okay, this is something they've done before. You climbed it? Come on. Is that... Do I have to defeat the creatures to do that? There are other perils within the withering zones apart from decay. Monsters that have been corroded by this environment and fetid boughs that grow in the area will attack characters within, causing decay to accumulate. In addition, the tumor will exhort disciples of decay to come forth and attack. These are monsters who have utterly fallen under the influence and have protection of it against damage. Use Dendro or Dendrograna to effectively destroy the shields guarding these monsters.
Scatter!
Elemental reaction. Bloom! Creatures affected by Hydro and Dendro. The Bloom reaction will trigger creating Dendro cores. Only a certain number of Dendro cores can exist at a time. Yada yada yada. Oh, the pre-existing ones will explode. Dendro cores come in contact with Pyro. They will trigger Burgeon, causing even greater AoE Dendro damage. With Electro, they trigger Hyper Bloom, transform into homing, sprawling shots. Fascinating. Not that yet? Oh, it's going this way. There we are.
Great work. Now that all the branches have been cleared, we'll need to take care of the tumor.
Oh, new.
Now, destroy the tumors of the Withering.
Boom! Oh, nice shot.
We did it! Everything's returning to normal now!
Yes, thanks to you two. We were able to quickly restore this area back to normal.
Tighnari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried about something?
It's that obvious, huh? Alright, it's like this. Recently, the rate at which the Withering Zone appears has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that Withering Zone, it won't be long before another one appears. If that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The Withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest itself. For instance, even though we cleared out the Withering Zone, many of the plants that were affected will not recover. This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends on those plants. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of Withering Zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also become more serious.
Interesting.
Huh? But why's that?
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients with other conditions.
Is there no way to permanently get rid of the Withering?
No, none that we know of. The Withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia, It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. By the way, have you heard of Irminsul before?
Nope.
Irminsul is a tree located deep beneath the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know in a biological sense, you can basically think of it as a large tree that grows downwards rather than upwards.
What?
I'm sure you've heard of ley lines, right? They're like the roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground all the way up to the surface.
Spreading and extending. A massive cavern. Sounds a lot like what I saw when I lost consciousness in the cave.
Ley lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day.
Ooh.
The Dendro Archon is known as the God of Wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is a manifestation of Irminsul. And as for the Withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it.
Huh? You mean Irminsul is sick?
That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's familiars a long time ago. But even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we rangers will be battling the Withering Zones here for a long time until a cure is found.
We meet those familiars?
Alright, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Were those the things by the Archon statue? Okay, we are right near a teleport waypoint. Uh-huh. It's in that direction. Okay. Fungus! Monster with basic intelligence and evolved from spores. When first hit by electro or pyro attacks, will enter either an activated or scorched state based on the elemental attack. Defeat this transformed fungus to obtain different types of rewards. Interesting. Enemies that drop different things depending on what you hit them with. I may have misjudged this. No, I think we can make it. Still higher up. Okay. Now where actually are we? Up here. Oh, it looks like this path leads back to there. Alright, we'll probably just end up gliding in the right direction. This way, yeah? Oh, we'll still have to go farther up. Gonda Hill. Because that connects with Gandharvaville. What is this? Nurseries in the wilds. Some of these seemingly masterless nurseries may be found within the forest of Sumeru. Follow the glowing spirits that float over these nurseries and traverse each field without interruption or repetition. Perhaps something good will happen. In truth, it isn't good to step on fields, but your footsteps seem to be able to awaken the life in the Battleland. Huh. Very nice. Well, that's cool. Vesmerti.
A reward on the road.
Check this off later. There's a statue. Oh, something up there. Man. This game is always so pretty. We're in a new area, so it's even more pretty, in different styles.
Oh, Tainari, you all made it back. How did it go?
The Withering Zone you reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh. Wait, is that?
It's a bird.
Oh no, Hypatia!
Is that the person we ran into before?
Huh?
Who didn't speak to
What's
us?
wrong, Tainari?
This Duskbird is Hypatia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in Sumeru.
Oh, her? How could we forget? So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just let Paimon read it. Huh? All Paimon sees are 3 squiggly lines.
Yes, allow me to explain. After we brought you from Hypatia's cave to Gandharvaville, Hypatia resumed her meditation. She must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations. This letter is her asking us for help. We need to go.
What? You mean she's been sitting there for 3 days? Hey, wait, how did you know all that from just a few lines on the paper?
Well, obviously because this has happened before. Last time she drew 5 lines, and by the time we found her... Well, I'd prefer not to remember that. Needless to say, Hypatia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler, could you two bring these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the Traveler be okay if her cave is still filled with that funny incense?
Nope.
Let's find out.
Sound went out again.
Here, Traveler, take a smell and see. So,
In
how
the
do you feel?
It's a light and refreshing fragrance. No unusual feelings this time.
Huh? Really? You're not feeling even a little drowsy? But wait, how'd you know that he'd be okay this time, Tainari?
Back when we were clearing the Withering Zone, I observed that he could adeptly manipulate the Dendro element. I knew then that he would be fine. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsol's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw while you were unconscious?
What I saw weren't hallucinations, were they?
That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all. Though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you. Because what you saw is of significant importance. Not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world of Teyvat. My forefathers were shown much favor by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be entrusted with the fate of Sumeru. Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you have earned my confidence, and I no longer feel the need to hide any secrets from you.
So what exactly was it that I saw?
When you passed out, your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsol. What you witnessed were actually real memories contained within Irminsol itself. I could try to tell you more, but it would be better if you went to ask Hypatia instead. Her focus on meditation and use of Spirit Borneol are aimed at establishing a connection with Irminsol, just as you did.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really
My
help
shoulders
us?
got real burnt.
Seriously, she completely ignored us
over
the
the
last time
weekend.
we tried talking to her.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid communicating with others. Please, wait here for a moment.
Aren't we supposed to be going to help her, though? You getting something? Dude? Tighnari? That bird's got a weird tail. It has like a lizard tail.
Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Hypatia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her and she'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
No. I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last few days.
Cool.
Hypatia should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's doing.
Can we read the letter? Got Dendroculus now. Nope, can't read it.
Hypatia should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's doing.
Just glide the whole way over.
Hello? Hypatia? Hey, there's nobody here. Maybe she went out to look for some food. Let's try looking around the area.
What was that sound? Sounded like coming from inside the cave. There she is. It's Hypatia. Is she okay? What? Do we get sent to the vision again? The Irminsul? What? What just happened?
There you are! Hypatia, are you alright?
So hungry. Eat water.
Looks famished.
There's no way we can get her to eat in her current condition. Let's try finding some water first.
But leave the food here just in case.
Huh? Wait. Why does it look super foggy outside all of a sudden? Anyway, let's go look around.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna go back in here first, though. She's not gonna say anything new, but I wanted to see what this is. Nothing special. Oh, that's new. I knew that thing did something.
How things out here end up looking like this? What happened? And where are we?
Relax, Paimon. There must be a logical explanation for all this.
Really? Oh, maybe you're right. Let's go investigate the area.
It really annoys me that they don't actually have him voice it. They have a voice actor for him. Yeah, we're in a different place, even as Doors of Resurrections. Domains, that's the word I'm looking for. We're in a domain.
Wow, this place is huge. Paimon knew there's something off about that cave. Let's think of a way to get over there and have a closer look.
Run away? Come on.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find a lead of some kind.
Bouncy mushrooms in domains. The reasons for which these mushrooms are not one of the Trilokshana creatures are unknown, but would be quite fascinating indeed. No. Now fine. There we go. What the? What? No! What the fuck? Okay. So we don't bounce if we just jump on it. Or we just step on it. Oh, there are multiple ways to go here. That's where we're supposed to go. But if that's where we're supposed to go, I want to check out the other ways first. Nope. Oh, this goes surprisingly far in. Catalyze. Electro and Dendro. Ah, stuck there. So yeah, using Dendro like that, I can effectively, like, actually set enemies on fire for continuous damage. That's pretty cool. Okay. Where are we going? Can't even move the camera now. Was not expecting this. Oh. But it's where we were supposed to go. Shit. I was trying to go where we weren't supposed to go first. You will sometimes find primeval rosin and sealed paths that correspond to them with domains in Sumeru. Collect 3 primeval rosins within these domains to unlock the corresponding path. Okay. I don't know what that's all about. Where the fuck are we now? Oh, are we back in the original room? Right, because we had gone here, and then we went down that way. Oh, there was still more ways to go that way, but I'm going to go this way first. Because there's one of these here. Oh, I missed something. Don't want to miss a dull blade. Yes, we went this way, and then we went there. Now we go here. And find... Is this the way we came in? This is the way we came in. That was not a new path. That was just a side path. Whoa! What? Hi? Silent Seeker of Knowledge. Investigate the quaint room. This is Inazuma architecture.
What happened just now? Why'd everything around us suddenly change?
This is Inazuma architecture. What's going on? Didn't think we'd be seeing this again for a while. Keep looking for a path to the upper level of the tree hollow. Okay. Oh, not what I wanted. Oh, we're back here. That just led us there. Right. And since I did the side paths already, we have all three of the things we need for this, right? Whoa! The courtyard far down the corridor. Yeah, more of this.
What in Tibet is going on here? This place is getting weirder by the minute. Hey, what's the matter? You don't look so good.
Yeah, we're about to fight something. I thought. This is a dojo, damn it. Oh, okay, we'll be back at least. There's a door that goes that way. What? No? Okay, that's still a wall. What happened? I'm confused. Did we get a glitch? Tell me we didn't get a glitch. All the places to get a goddamn glitch. This is not a place. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Just wondering what those were. Oh, 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 that's a painting now. Okay. I was worried for a second. There's no instruction there, so I couldn't really tell. Yep. All right. Back to Sumeru-ish. Saw someone say that these things make them feel like Spider-Man, and I can see why. Though we did have a similar thing in Inazuma. Oh, hi!
Well. Looks like we meet again, traveler.
Are you one we've met before?
The Abyss Herald! What are you planning to do in this strange place?
Strange place? Plotting? You needn't worry about such things. They don't concern you. Bow before the abyss.
Oh, nope. Fuck, my sound went out right now. It's not a good time for that to happen. Can I? Okay, good. That pauses it.
Huge.
Okay, I want to hear the battle music, damn it.
Let's dance.
Why do I feel like it's... Oh no, it is... It's still healing me.
Propagate! Spring forth!
Here's my new thing. Origin.
Grant me new life.
Come on, we can do it.
Oh right, he brings out the shield.
The end will come.
Boom! That was apparently enough.
Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. We faced others like him before. What's wrong
It's because we got cut off by a cutscene. Would have beat him just fine.
We have managed to avert countless crises before. Your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are.
My journey will not end here. I still must find my sister.
Your sister. Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial?
Not denial, we're just lacking information.
Her Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence in her eyes is that of an annoying bug, only to be stepped upon.
I mean, some explanation would be better than that.
Which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless. But don't you fret now. Today will be your last. Now die!
Do we get to finish the fight now? Or... Oh. Either we finish the fight, or... we're back! In the real world! So, what was all that just now? Strange? It feels like I was just dreaming for a moment there, but I can't remember what I saw. I remember, though.
What do? We haven't seen Hypatia anywhere. anywhere out here. Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
Ah, so sweet.
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey,
Doesn't sound
why'd you
conscious to
drop her
me.
food on the floor like that?
Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a second there.
Are you okay? Anyways, we can talk about this later. We better make sure she's alright first.
And you know, pick up the food off the floor.
Whoa! Wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around her. We can put that to good use.
After giving the semi-conscious Hypatia some water and fruit juice.
Who is there? Tighnari, is that you?
Huh? Oh, okay.
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tighnari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
Give Hypatia the letter from Tighnari. Okay.
I see. So, you're friends of Tighnari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you. I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this anyway?
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
Is it a little round creature? Kind of like a cabbage?
Oh? So you're able to see them too?
Yup. Tell her everything that happened.
Wait, hold on a second, Traveler. You say that before we arrived, you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't that a little too crazy to believe?
No, I actually do believe what the Traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before and ended up scaring my timid little neighbor here. You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they hoped to buy themselves a little time in order to scurry away.
So, Hypatia,
right.
just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro Archon.
Yeah,
I know this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irminsul.
Who planned that shot?
Even after I
just
opened
put a
my
leaf
eyes
in the
and
way of
stopped
everything.
meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the opening of the cave. In my curiosity, I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh! And then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen. I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me.
What fascinating creatures. Sounds like a great neighbor.
Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tighnari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul.
That can wait until food happens.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier... Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something
I got
ourselves.
sent into a dream, Paimon, come on.
Paimon's getting hungry too. Traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too. To be honest, the last time had to be when Tighnari came to visit.
Alright. Well, first of all,
I'll protect us.
get some more healing going. Make some food by the fireside. Oh, this has an investigation point now. With some wheat. There we go. Oh, was this here before? Cook up some dishes over the fire.
All done! Let's use the empty box that Tighnari gave us since we already washed it. Oh, it smells amazing! And the box is a nice touch too! Let's go serve this up and start eating.
Lunch from Traveler.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte.
After a delicious meal together, you'll tell Hypatia about connecting with Irminsul.
Even though everything you mentioned was in Tighnari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul immediately after smelling Spiritborn Ale for the first time. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the Academia even lauded me as a genius. You should know that some researchers spent their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make Spiritborn Ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth.
Think I understand.
Naturally. Anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of great understanding.
Or I'm just not from this world.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was he sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to his body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, he could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experienced a sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions. Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spiritborn Ale would cause adverse effects. Not to worry though, it appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of Spiritborn Ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Whew. Well, that's a relief.
I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Whoa, you're really serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
I am a researcher after all. As a
You're
member
not wearing
of the
the
Ritalis
researcher
Darshan
attire
at the
that we've seen
Academia,
everywhere else.
My main area of research is the stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies.
See, that tracks more with your outfit, because you're a bit reminiscent of what Mona wears.
Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for
Blue and
answers.
gold.
If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself. That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Aren't you afraid of the risks, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the God of Wisdom herself. And they have the curious power to make people dream.
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
What?
Oh, is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical.
Reminds me of the dream I saw from the Aranara.
Yes,
Big chaotic
if one
mess.
struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams. The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is seen as a blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep. I was born into a family of scholars in Sumeru City. Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming. I studied hard, enrolled as a student in the academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw, I clearly recall the feeling. I suddenly felt like I was a child again. Back then, I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be, but I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be.
Yeah.
Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
So, do you have any thoughts about the things he saw when he connected with Irminsul?
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained within Irminsul itself. World forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life. I might have some more answers for you. If you two are ever in the area again, please be sure to come and see me.
So there's been a bit of a controversy with this latest installment of Genshin Impact, being that despite Sumeru being inspired by I forget what part of the world exactly, but more Middle Eastern stuff, as you can see with the words that they've been using. The controversy comes from the fact that all the new characters are designed just like other Genshin characters in that they are white as hell. Or Asian sort of white. Anime white. And the inspiration, the area the inspiration comes from is not. So it's like, hey, where's our variety in skin color? Where's our variety in accents? Where's our variety in people in this game? And I get it. Honestly, I support that view. I don't really... it sounds bad to put it this way. I don't really care as much. I do support that view, but I don't really see it as much of an issue, being that I just want to play a game. But I should point that out. It should not be just breezed over. As long as I mention it once, it should... Because that right there, what she just said, does that sound right coming out of someone who looks like this? Like, it doesn't... One of the characters we ran into was named Amir! That's a Middle Eastern name right there. And yet he was white as hell. So yeah, you can see why people have issues with this. Thanks, Hypatia. We wish you luck in your endeavors.
There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
You continue chatting before settling down for a good night's rest.
Now that we know Hypatia is alright and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.
Oh,
heading out, I see?
Just went out.
If there's anything else you'd ever
Sure,
like to
yeah,
ask
right.
about, you know where to find me. Even though that little neighbor of mine was able to induce a state of dreaming, I doubt they were able to control the actual contents of the dream. The end of your dream seemed quite terrifying. Perhaps there's something that's troubling you deep inside? Not to worry, though. I'm sure you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way in the real world. As someone from Sumeru who cannot dream, I needn't ever worry about nightmares. But lately, I've started to feel that I'm somehow missing something without dreams. It's a little hard to explain.
No,
Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to ask, Sumeru researchers use Spiritborn Ale to assist them in connecting with Irminsul to extract knowledge from it. Though the process can be risky, we believe that the knowledge gained is worth it. Unfortunately, I cannot help you understand your dream. At least not yet. I'm still learning how to attune to the depths of Irminsul myself. I hope that I'll be able to ascend past Satyavada life and gain deeper insights. Heading out, I see? If there's anything, I've heard local children here in the rainforest speaking of fairy-like creatures. But I'm from Sumeru City, and have never heard of such things when I was a child. Perhaps this is because I had a very strict upbringing. My parents would seldom allow me to play with other children. I doubt they'd ever believe me if I told them about my little neighbor out here. And speaking of my little neighbor, I think they can somehow sense when Tighnari is coming to visit me. I've noticed on several occasions that as they're playing under the trees, they'll suddenly tense up and scamper away for no apparent reason. Shortly after they do this, Tighnari always shows up here. Perhaps I should ask Tighnari about this the next time I see him.
We'll probably
Heading out, I
bring
see?
it up.
If there's anything, take care. Do remember to come visit anytime you're in the area. I would be happy to chat with you.
Oh, we didn't get that recipe from her, as I thought we might. Oh well. That's where the bird would go. Okay. Return to the place. Ooh, who's here? Mold's gonna grow on my head if this goes on. No kidding. Even sand can grow mushrooms if it's surrounded by this damp and sticky air every day. I just want to finish this, get my payment, and go sunbathe into the desert. Oh, I didn't mean I actually plan to return to that last desert. I mean, Arao Village. Oop, I don't know how to play. Heard from the village elders that Arao Village used to be part of the Scarlet King Citadel. How amazing! If you think about it, Aru Village may be in the desert, but life is pretty nice there. You don't have to endure wet weather. You can go shopping at Caravan Rabat too. You probably won't make much money there, but you'll find everything else in that place pretty neat. You're not the first person I've seen with something glowing on your ear there. I'm real curious what that is. You have it too. If I left from here, I'm a researcher conducting observations of a video forest of ecology as my bodyguard. no suspicious people, so please don't be too wary of us. The withering seems to be spreading lately, but there hasn't been much change in the immediate forest ecology. Well, I guess the forest rangers have been working really hard. If you know Sumeru, you know this is the easternmost area of it. If you pass Caravan Robot and go further west, you'll find yourself before an endless desert. It's said that a very, very long time ago, Sumeru was a paradise covered in green, and the desert is a result of a disaster. Alright, you had another one. The withering is a result of contamination. If its source cannot be eradicated, then it will never end. But the contamination of Irminsul is not so easily resolved, is it? Don't leave trouble the forest rangers until a fundamental solution is found. Mirage. Great, everything's fine as usual, nothing suspicious. Yo. Hey, you need help? Look strong and energetic, I don't think you do. And enjoy the rainforest. Way of life in the forest may be quite primitive, but you won't find any place that's cleaner and more comfortable than here. I often volunteer to change shifts with my colleagues just to wander the forest a little longer. Of course, I still carry out my duty seriously if something really does happen. Ooh. Oh yeah, we kind of saw the other end of this path. There's something nearby. What the hell is this? Huh. There you are. Oh. Oh, we can't go past this. Alright. Probably something will happen to reform this totem. And then we use that to get in. Huh. Like, I feel like the name for this place was inspired by, like, Gandhi. Gandharvaville.
Think about it, Tighnari. Refusing to join is tantamount to burying your head in the sand. I understand that you're a forest watcher, and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your presence and guidance in Sumeru City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Ghulam. Let's at least listen to Tighnari's reason for declining. We're here to invite him to the Academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage, I am truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher. How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all. So now I've come here in his stead.
I see. Huh. And I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
Tighnari, your master is an integral part of this effort, and now he requires your assistance.
And what exactly does my master need of me, Sage Kage?
You'll know once you've arrived in Sumeru City, that is.
And how long will I be required to stay?
There's no definite answer as of now.
Do you mean to tell me that despite coming all the way here to Gandharvaville, you still can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master?
I'm not going until you give me a reason.
I cannot give you a definite answer either.
Tighnari, but you...
So be it. Come, Ghulam, we're leaving.
You need me to come there, but you won't say why, so I'm gonna say no until you tell me. That's what's going on here.
Tighnari, what was that all about?
It's nothing. Some people from the Academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my responsibilities here. But all that can wait. How did things go with Hypatia?
And the fact that they won't tell me what they need help with.
It was quite the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and around. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the traveler has made a full recovery, there shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here longer. I assume you will be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
That's right. We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice. Do you have any idea on how we can find her?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru City?
Let me think. My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. How about this? I'll write you a letter of introduction that you can give to a researcher I know. He's from the Amorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information. Asking him might prove worthwhile. Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Oh? What is it?
It's called an Akasha Terminal. It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Some say that this very item is the basis of Sumeru's reputation as the City of Wisdom. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the Academia's expertise, so I'll leave it to them to show you how to use it.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City! But wait, before that...
We need to say goodbye to Kalei.
That's right! Tainari, we have something important to say to Kalei before we leave. Is she doing better now?
Yes, she's doing much better. After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tainari. All right, let's go!
Farewell, and good luck to you both.
Okay. Just in case.
Kalei is waiting at the northmost crossing of Gandharvaville. You should be able to find her there. Don't you worry about Kalei. I'll look after her. I'll find a way to understand the relationship between the Withering and her disease. Kalei is waiting at the northmost crossing of Gandharvaville. It seems there's a major project underway at the Academia, and my master has also joined the effort. But I can't afford to leave Gandharvaville now.
The way you say that sounds like you're putting
Things are
quotes
not
around
going
the word
well here in the
master.
rainforest, and Kalei needs someone to watch over her. Besides, I was never one for all the pomp and circumstance of life at the Academia. Given that my master hasn't come to give me an earful personally, tells me that my presence is not as sorely needed as they make it out to be. In fact, the letter he sent to me was uncharacteristically polite. Kalei is waiting at the northmost crossing of Gandharvaville. You should be. Farewell, traveler.
Who's your master, though? Would have been nice to know that bit. You're not gonna have us introduce a letter of introduction to them?
I've been waiting for you two. Never mind. I guess I should just wish you two a safe and successful journey. Thanks for waiting here just to see us off, Kalei. We're headed to Sumeru City.
Please take care of yourself, Kalei.
Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. My condition won't be getting in the way of my duties. I want to be a forest ranger after all. It's up to me and the others to protect the rainforest here. And, I'm sorry.
It's interesting.
I should have told you both about my condition when we first met.
They haven't shown. They don't
wanted
show
you two to
any of
treat me
these
as a normal
scales that are
friend,
supposed to be appearing from
not
the
some
condition.
girl that needs your sympathy. But I guess now I understand that the most important thing is for friends to be genuine with one another. There's no need to apologize, Kalei. We should be thanking you. We're probably still gonna worry about your condition, but that's because we're friends and we care about you. Thank you. That means a lot. Before you leave, I have something for you. Oh? What is it? It's my recipe for Pita Pockets.
There we go.
I told you that I'd give you a copy, remember? My handwriting is a little, messy, so please don't laugh. Yay! Thanks, Kalei. I hope hope that whenever you eat them, you'll both remember your time here in Gandharvaville.
Of course we will.
Well then,
Not.
I, trainee Forest Ranger Kale, bid you both farewell. Please visit Gandharvaville again. The Rangers will always be ready to assist you here.
Alright, Silent Seeker of Knowledge complete. Now go to Sumeru City. Which is... oh, on the current bit of map. That's good. I thought it would be up... it might be over here. There it is. Pita Pocket. And I just realized that... oops. Haven't done this for a while. Here we go.
Propagate!
There we go. Bunch of stuff. Okay. Oh, there's... Alright, we're climbing this. Oh, looks like there's a world quest over there, too. I'll grab that in a moment, but, this is cool. Little treehouse. There we go. Dendrograna. Oh, apple tree. I haven't seen those since Mondstadt. Ah, this is... What's over there? Stay away, you nasty mushrooms! Hey, Arlok, that person over there seems to be in trouble. We've got to help. Oh, you were a big help, thanks. As you can see, I'm a Forest Watcher here. As for my name, it's Rana. I'm Arlok. Paimon's Paimon. We're from a different nation. I see. You aren't dressed like inhabitants of the forest, nor do you look like you're from the desert, but your clothes do have good breathability and are suitable for traveling in Sumeru. Huh? Since Rana's a Forest Watcher, she should know Tainari, right? Oh, Arlok, you know Tainari? Tainari may seem unapproachable. He's actually a very nice person. He took really good care of me when I was a trainee, and his ears are gorgeous. Yeah, Paimon really wants to touch him. Paimon could do it super stealthily. Hey, that will still make Tainari angry, right? It probably will, but his ears are so glossy I can't help but wondering how they feel. The girl with him seems pretty interested in them too. Rana, are you talking about... is it Kalei? Huh? You know Kalei too? She hasn't been very well, but she still works hard to protect the forest and eliminate the withering. Everyone's worried about her. Anyway, Forest Watcher's duty is to protect the forest, assist travelers, and provide guidance. As the two of you might have noticed, lately the forest has been less than ideal. The fungi and beasts have been growing aggressive, and then there's the withering. How about I escort both of you? My patrol route will pass through Vimara village next. It's smooth sailing from there to either Port Ormos or Sumeru City. Sure, let's go. Okay, I'll keep both of you safe. Okay, we get a world quest that'll take us there. Or more than a world quest. You're a Forest Watcher. You mean you're very familiar with the woods, right? Uh-huh. I've lived here for years and I know every tree in the forest. Really? The land's becoming somewhat peculiar lately, even with the Withering Zones, and you didn't give us enough time to read that while moving. Speaking of Withering Zones... Popped up already. So close to the main road, too. Withering Zone again? We handled it with Tighnari before. Arlok and Tighnari disposed of a Withering Zone before? Oh, go into how dangerous it is then. Regardless, let me mark down the location and radius of effect for now. After I take you to Vimera Village, I'll go to Gandharvaville and bring Tighnari over to help. No need. Leave it to us. No way. It's lethal. Even veteran forest watchers wouldn't approach it unless absolutely necessary. Arlok can manipulate the elements, and it should somewhat stave off the Withering's effects. Now that you mention it, you did show ability when fending off the fungi. But still, you shouldn't do that. We can't have you injured by the Withering after coming all this way. Don't worry, we can do it! God damn it, it's a fucking piece of cake! It's just a game element! Yeah, fuck off. Oh, my sound went out. And I think it just went into battle.
Bruh.
No, that's not good. Oh, did it? I thought I had 4 of them. It's not. Or 3 of them. Oh, right. Charge. Get over here! Can we not? Am I missing something? Do I have to kill this thing first?
Scatter!
Oh, really? You jumped over it? Never mind, you're dead now. Boom! Oh, that's cool. Impressive, right? You're amazing! Incredibly amazing! Thanks. Ain't too excited. Pardon me, Mr. It's okay to just speak your mind, Miss Rana. Drop the formalities. Okay, so I wonder if you guys are interested in joining us? I can vouch for you both. It would be great to get powerful, dedicated people like Arlok and Paimon on our side. With you guys, we can better control the spread of the Withering. Sure, you're probably not familiar with the woods, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Wait. Oh yeah, speaking of the forest, Paimon's got a question. Do you remember the wondrous creatures we saw before? Wondrous creatures? Yeah, we described the thing. Oh, they sound like the mythical Aranara. Small, round plant-like fairies. They're denizens of the woods and guardians of the trees. But we generally dismiss them as just a tale. You sure those weren't just some shroom-boars you saw, Arlok? Shroom-boars? Yeah, that's an animal you only see in the forest of Sumeru. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the tiger behind you. What the hell is that? That's new. They're round, green beasts that live in the forest. We'd use them to find precious mushrooms. I don't think they're the same. Anyway, in all my years in the woods, I've never seen an Aranara. You can ask the kids if you get to Vimera Village. They seem to be very into the legend of Aranara. Though children always try to hide their thoughts from adults, you can read their minds like a book. Just like Paimon. Hey, that's because we're buddies and we know each other well. I'm almost getting tired of this dialogue. Across a lot of things in journey, so we learn how to fight. Okay. Oh, okay. So they do seem to place these things out randomly so that you can just use them sometimes. This is Vimera Village. Say hi to Grandpa Amadi. Something. You're a Mondstadter? Yeah, I'm Aurelius, born and raised in Mondstadt. A few years back, I came here on my journey tracing footsteps of a lady poet. I didn't want to come in the beginning. But once I got here, I realized this place is awesome. No one will force me to be a poet here. To be honest, even though my parents are both poets, I detest poetry. Instead of heading back home and letting them use beautiful rhymes to mock my lousy poems, I feel much more free and at ease here. Cool. There's also fishing here. Ah, with new fish. Alright, give me a moment. Where are you? There you are. No, not you. You. There
Where
we
we
go.
headed this time?
You have a fishing thing, so... yeah, I guess. There's 3 new fish here. Now, are they the kind that go for this bait is the thing. Negatory. There's only one other piece of bait here. Will the green one go for it? Probably not if those guys won't. Same shape. Alright. Never mind. Apparently, we can't fish here yet.
There's still a long road ahead.
Find the recipe for the right sort of bait. That goes that way. Oh, I guess we're not tracking the quest. So. Frog. Fish. Whoop. I'm back, Grandpa. Amadia.
Rana, you know, the job of the Force Watcher is important, but you should come around more often.
Yeah, I know. I patrol the forest so that those tiger cubs can hang out in the woods safely. It's just a mess right now. There are tigers in Vimmer Village?
Tiger cubs refers to Eotham and his friends. By the way, your voice, I don't think I've ever met you. Do we have visitors?
Yes, Grandpa Amadia. These two are... And brief rundown. Good. Don't do it again.
I see. Welcome to Vimero Village. Thanks for helping Rana out.
I plan to form a night watch, getting Alfonso, Baram, and Aurelius to safeguard the perimeter as a group.
That's a great plan. It's good for the children, after all.
Has something happened in Vimero Village yet lately? Oh, can it be related to round plant-like creatures we saw before?
What are you talking about? That sounds like cabbage from your description.
It's okay. We're just a little uneasy from recent events.
I spent my whole life in Vimera Village and never saw anything like this. I won't bore you with my stories. Please watch over Rana. She's always been a troublemaker since she was little. She got lost in the woods once when she was 7 or 8 for a couple of days.
Hey now, Grandpa Madia.
Fine, fine. You'll be a good host now, Rana. Don't let our guests down.
For sure. Grandpa Madia is getting old. His eyes are really starting to fail him. Obviously. Take all your stuff. Oh. Oh. Anything new? Who's the one beside you? I met this kind, powerful traveler. How about you? Caught anything good? You know it. Wait, no. What voice am I doing with this guy? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Just random NPC. Oh, it's making us walk. Makes sense, but since there's stuff to collect. Whatever. I'm back, Alfonso.
I see. Who's that with you?
Allow me to introduce these two impressive travelers who've helped me a lot. And this here's Alfonso, just about the most dependable person in Vimera Village.
You flatter me, Rana. Anyway, nice to meet you too. Thanks for looking after Rana.
You don't look like a local, Alfonso. You a traveler too?
Yeah, you're an experienced traveler indeed. Saw right through me at a glance. I came as an apprentice from Fontaine, but ended up staying because I really like it here.
It's been years since. Alfonso's practically one of us now. Anyway, how are the kids? They're not running around, are they? I mean, it's not a good time right now.
They're in the village waiting for you to return after Cavus came back. Is it really okay to talk about that before our guests? Maybe we should talk about it later.
Is it something important? We can come back later. Oh, don't worry, they saved my life after all.
Actually, you could have made it on your own.
Time is life to me. You saved me time, you saved my life. Anyway, some of the children in Vimmer Village have gone missing recently.
That warrants more than just an anyway.
It's a very serious problem. Have you notified the sheriff in Sumeru City yet? Is there anything we can do to help? Wait, just listen to me. The missing children always come back in a few days, though they don't remember what happened.
I'd round up a search party every time. Sometimes we run into wild animals, sometimes the Withering Zone, other times outsiders obviously too tough for us to handle. However, we could never find the kids since the woods are simply too big to search, even for Rana.
But in the end, they would suddenly return when no one was paying attention and couldn't recall anything when asked. Paimon does that too. No, it's like they remember nothing at all.
I'm not sure. I think they just don't want to tell us adults. Even though I'm only a few years older than them.
Still, that's pretty concerning. Right? So I've been patrolling nearby recently, looking out for anything unusual. That's also why I just spoke to Amadia about forming a night watch. I also asked Alfonso to keep an eye on the kids.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'd be more concerned if they actually stay put. I'm gonna have a word with Yosafat later. It's his job to watch after Cavus and Sudaba.
You ought to take it easy for a while there, Rana. You're the only one who can get through to the kids. It's dangerous outside lately. Withering Zone aside, you've got the Fatui from Shnezhnaya with your armed mercenaries operating the force. If something goes wrong. Fatui!
I know, I'll be careful. But I should be on the ball because it's dangerous. Even if you could deal with wild animals, Fatui are more than you can handle.
Even if you could deal with the wild animals, a Fatui or more you can handle, Rana.
It sounds like Alfonso knows the Fatui very well.
Oh, I learned about them from travelers shuttling between Sumeru City and Port Ormos.
It's Rana! Rana's back! With Alfonso, too! Here comes trouble.
Anyway, think it over, Rana.
I picked a bunch of starshrooms for you, Rana. Didn't you promise me to never wander outside the village? The Rishbalon Raja will come and get you if you don't behave.
What did I say about the fucking names and the fact that the people don't match them? Jesus.
I'm big now, and I'm not scared of anything. Did you catch the Gator Raja this time, Rana? I want to hear some tales from the woods, Rana. Well, I didn't see the Gator Raja this time, but I brought you a golden lion and the silver what, though? Other lion, weasel thief? Whopper flower. What does Paimon have to do with Whopper flower? Silver duskbird! Silver bass! Super silver specter! Hmm? Calm down, Paimon.
Alright, stop picking on them. Arlok and Paimon are my friends.
Paimon's not gonna get mad at kids. Regardless, you know a lot of animals. Right! Rana would tell us stories every time she's back. She told us about a huge gator last time, and the Sumter Beast Lord. And the Rishbalon Raja, they couldn't be caught. That's right, and they will come and get you if you don't behave. Oh no! Everyone in this village sure seems to get along. Hopefully the children stay safe. Anyway, my friends came from a place far, far away. Why don't we let them tell a story? Sure, I guess. Sure, our trip to Sumeru has been a very eventful one. Go to Rana's house. Last one there is a specter.
Careful going over the bridge. Don't fall in the water.
Jeez. Okay, I guess we're chasing the kids. That one got stuck. Subata. Alright. Taking all their food. Oh, mushroom on the bridge. Ah, stop climbing things. Oh, I didn't want to... Alright. A lot of investigation points here. These kids ran faster than birds could fly. You guys are getting good at running. I'm going to worry me sick if we run away someday. We won't run if Rana's here. I'm going to marry Rana when I grow up. Wait, didn't you promise to marry me, liar? We'll sort this out later. You'll meet more people when you grow up, people more impressive and better than me. For instance, Mr. Blonde here is way mightier than me, and has met many great people along their journey from far away, right? Indeed I have. Have you been traveling a long time? Rana said he'd tell us stories. I've got a lot of stories. You got the tiger cubs then. I have a meeting to go to. You kids be good to him and stay put till I get back. Okay. Please don't make me tell the stories. It's about time to be done. Alright, on to the stories. You're Yotham, right? What story would you like to hear? Stories about dragons! Alfonso said they're ancient and very powerful. Say about sirs. I heard there's a lot of big monsters in the sea. I want stories about a distinguished lady who's smart and powerful. We all want different stories, and yet we all have stories about those topics. Hey, isn't there someone that knows stories of the 8-headed hydras, silver-haired banshees, and wicked abyss dragon? Paimon thinks everyone would be happy if that person was here. How about it? We know a lot of stories, we'll tell them all. You can ask them about mysterious creatures while they're at it. The kids might know things adults don't, and about how they went missing. As a trade, Yovan, Kavis, and Sudaba, you'll tell us what you know too. Sure. Tell the kids a story in a way they'll find fun. We actually have to tell them each a story as part of a game mechanic. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I'm fucking tired. I've been exhausted all day, even after I slept till 1. The weekend has drained the life out of me. Alright. I'll probably... because I need to go somewhere before I end the stream. Or even off the actual part of the map now. Right. So I need to go... I always end the streams in front of the Adventurers Guild. And to get back here doesn't seem very far. I'll just have to teleport here and go here. So... that shouldn't be much of an issue. And of course I'm going to be going back to that area anyway, off stream to explore. And I also have my dailies to do later. So I'll be jumping around a bit anyway. I just want to make sure that we end up in the right place for the end of the stream. Okay. That'll be our ending shot. Okay. Let's refresh this page and see about a raid. taking a while to refresh because the game is running, so give it a moment. Okay. Who's online? Oh, wait, is... Oh, man, they're not online anymore, are they? Nope. Damn, there was a good stream earlier. I was able to pop in for a few minutes. But it was a Prism. They were on earlier than usual. Let's see. I'll just send y'all to... Tricky Week. We haven't rated Tricky in a while. Just chatting at the moment, so I have no idea what's actually going on. Alright. Well, until next time, folks, this is the Pirate King, signing off. Have a good night.